the top of the show. The troll masters over at 4chan are back at it. I think this is probably their most hilarious campaign to date. So they are leaving simple, you've seen it by now, but I'll explain it for people who haven't. They're leaving simple black and white flyers around high school, college campuses, neighborhoods. All it says in plain Helvetica font is, quote, "It's okay to be white." That's it.
Oh, no.
And 4chan has been explicit and public in its purposes. You can see their posts. That they want to provoke an irrational reaction from people who are hypersensitive to even the slightest scent of whiteness, or like even harmless pride of one's European descent or
not
heritage.
Even pride.
Yeah, not even pride, just like
acceptance.
Acceptance of European heritage.
Yeah.
Let's just play the news clip, because the news clip is whatever. Oh, what happened here?
Uh-oh.
I lost my video feed. Hold on.
The news at 11.
That's strange. There we go. Here's this news piece.
And continues with a disturbing story out of Montgomery County. Students found flyers taped up at a high school that say it's okay to be white. And now there are some racist online threats connected to them.
Here's what's going on. Yesterday, these flyers were posted to at least 2 different locations, the University of Maryland and Montgomery Blair High School in Silver Spring. The high school even caught the poster on surveillance video. When I asked the school spokesperson what was going on, he sent me a web link to an older post that shows this was planned. The page even says what to write. Oh, and the post also says this: "We expect the anti-white media to produce a storm about these racist, hateful, bigoted flyers with a completely innocuous message. The media response will rally new support for pro-white activism." Well, this did upset a University of Maryland student who tweeted the flyer with her own message. And being on social media, she got a flood of responses, but she says this also included death and rape threats. So now police resources are involved. Prince George's County Police Department, they're investigating. Montgomery County Police are aware of it. And their parents, well, they're over it.
Just evil motivation, and just go back into your hole.
The high school's principal says this was posted to 10 exterior doors to the school and that this appears to be a concentrated effort to foment racial and political tension.
Okay, your thoughts?
I love the irony of a black woman and an Indian woman lecturing me about my racism because of a sign that said it's okay to be white. I mean, and then she stated the motive, and then they totally fell into a trap they knew they were falling into. They found the 4chan post. They knew. Right.
That's what makes this amazing. And that's why I give so much credit to the people who conceived of this. Is like the hallmark of elite trolling, like truly elite trolling like this, is when you can explicitly explain your scheme and then lay out the bait and say, here, Targ, here's my scheme and here's the bait. And they still take the bait.
I know.
And the news did that. And the news.
And then feature how they took the bait within the 2-minute segment. Do.
And then the news objects to this, particularly because the post said, well, this is going to make people more receptive to pro-white attitudes when they freak out. Now, maybe that's true and maybe that's bad. But the point is, news.
Maybe that's bad.
Well, I'm just saying if from their perspective, I don't know, whatever happens. The point is, if you think that it's bad, is what I'm saying. If you don't want that to happen, don't fulfill their plan, because that's what's happening.
The worst thing
now.
that could have happened to the people that planned this on 4chan is that it got no media attention.
Yes.
So don't cover it. Oh my God. It was just irresistible bait. These retards.
Yeah. I don't think I've... I just couldn't believe the segment where they looked at the, well, we went through it, but just looking at the post and reading the post and then fulfilling the goals of the post as you're reading. Somebody sat down and produced this too. Somebody sat down and edited it. Somebody did the investigation.
If it said anything else on that sign, it would have gotten no media attention. Everybody knows that already. But if it said it's okay to be Muslim, nobody would have given a shit.
Oh yeah. Or if it's, I mean, yeah. Well, before we get into some more observations, I want to play this Tulane student, because they did this at Tulane, and I don't know who this student is. She is of Indian descent, and she is particularly threatened by the same sign at her college. This is what she has to say. Why is my... I'm losing my video feed.
I was literally like walking to the LBC. I was getting a bagel. I have a test today. I had a pretty rough night last night. So coming this morning was very heavy already. And then I was opening the door and I saw the sign. And as if that like wasn't another confirmation that I needed that I don't belong on this campus. I felt it like for the past like year that I have been here, and no one's explicitly said it, and that was the first explicit thing that I have seen that really like told me you shouldn't be here. I think our campus and our society tells us.
Okay,
thoughts?
Before I forget, if she is shamed like nearly off of this campus by a sign that says it's okay to be white, can you imagine if she were Muslim and she had people staring her down in the dining hall? She'd be out of there in 2 seconds. I'm just telling you it would work. Proceed.
Or change her behavior, I guess. Yeah.
Fuck this bitch.
People of color, that it's not okay to be people of color. So to see a confirmation or to see a piece of paper that says it's okay to be white is just, it's not okay to be a person of color, but it's okay to be white. You know,
said
like,
it's not? And what does she mean, person of color? What does this upper middle class Indian bitch have in common with like a poor black person? Those people live in a world apart. People of color. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's amazing to me how, well, some of the things she says, well, I've never heard it explicitly on this campus that I don't belong, but this is the first case that I've explicitly heard it. No, you didn't.
No, it
You did
literally
not?
said nothing about you. Wasn't to you, wasn't about you, had nothing to do with you.
It was an insane implication. There was nothing explicit about that. And I do find it crazy that this is the type of person who would say, I shouldn't mischaracterize her. Maybe she wouldn't say this. I presume she's the type of person to say, Black Lives Matter is not to be interpreted to mean white lives don't matter. It's just saying that Black lives do matter. Well, this is the same thing, just reversed. It's saying it's okay to be white is not meant to be interpreted to mean that it's not okay to be not white, or that it's whatever else, like it's not okay to be a person of color, as she puts it. So you just got to be consistent. If one implies the other, then Black Lives Matter is not okay to say.
Somebody in the live chat just said Hindu dindu.
Oh, jeez.
You guys are funny.
Yeah. The other thing from the news story is, why is the alleged death or rape threat the get out of your irrational sensitivity free card?
Yeah.
Like, okay, news piece, you allege death or rape threats? Show me the death threats, show me the rape threats, show me the credibility. Because otherwise, what you're doing is you're just pulling the Spacey, Like, people ripped Spacey this week for saying, yeah, I might have been an attempted racist, but I'm gay. Now, I think that was a little bit rough on him. Now, since a million other allegations have come out, so it might have been that unjustified.
Yeah, last week we were like, maybe we should give him a pass. And then this week we're like, no.
He's getting into that Cosby realm where it's like, how many accusers does it take before you sort of suspend your presumption of innocence? He's approaching that at some point. But you don't get to say, well, I may be wildly irrational and unstable, but someone threatened to kill me or rape me. Prove
Join
it.
the club, bitch. Good Lord.
And it also still...
even if she did prove it, this is something I didn't realize earlier in my YouTube career, but internet death threats mostly are not real death threats. Like, I'm going to come to your house and kill you. If they don't say where you live, then I would.
I can confirm that I've received, I don't know, maybe a dozen of those in my entire time. Yeah. And on several occasions, I've given my real address and they have never shown up.
Skag has a gun in every room. He's ready.
Hey, man, stand your ground. I'll stand my ground. You want to show up and put that law to the test? Be my guest. Okay, in the interest of time, we should probably keep it moving here. Do you have anything more to say on it's okay to be white?
No, I mean, I really appreciate when 4chan does stuff like this.
Yes, I applause to them.
Says that Sam Hyde is guilty of every mass shooting in American history. I mean, I love 4chan, except when they turn against me, then they're my worst enemies.
Yeah, then they suck. Speaking of it, the how this is not productive for the news station at all in terms of taking the bait and looking stupid. The video on YouTube, currently 17 upvotes. When I looked hours ago, I'm sure it's worse than this now, 2,373 down.
I also heard that she was trying, you're talking about the Tulane student, right?
No, I'm talking about the news story.
Oh, okay. Well, the Tulane student,
is also
that interview, she's trying to get the interview removed from YouTube.
Oh yeah, of course she is. Yeah. Even though she volunteered to participate in the interview.
Yeah.
Come on. I'm sure.
What did you expect?
Yeah, ridiculous.